Welcome back, everyone, and this time round we're going to talk a little bit about the Great Instauration, which was Bacon's, basically his life's work, his masterwork. So what is the Great Instauration?
It's the name of his project. Some people see it as just the name for all the various books he wrote, but no, he wrote the books to illustrate the different stages of the Great Illustration. He called what he could do, or he related what he could do as like the light to shine on the path that people could then follow to help illumine the pathway. But he saw it as something that would develop over time, and he gave a method which he called the new method for following this. It's a philosophical method to discover the truth, but to finally know the truth is the final goal, and to know real truth, which is love, produces an illumination. So to reach illumination means you have knowledge of truth. So that was the goal. And then if everybody reaches that, then you'd immediately have what's called a golden age, a society of illumined people.
So this is the vision he had very early on, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes, he saw, like other great seers, the scene that one day the world could achieve a golden age.
Yeah.
And that's what they all work towards. Jesus prophesies it, but he wasn't the only one who did. Bacon also prophesied it, but he related it. In those days you had to be careful with the Christian church.
Yes.
And so he related it to Platonic things. So Plato talks about Atlantis once having a golden age, where people were kind to each other and lived in a happy society, illumined society. But he looked forward to a future golden age like that, where again we live in peace with each other, which means illumination of the type, being loving, kind to each other, but even more evolved, even more knowledge.
The next step up the spiral.
Next step up.
Yeah.
But he foresaw we had to go through a very dark time that was coming. He was a prophet from that point of view, and he prayed that it wouldn't be too severe.
Yeah.
So he saw it would be really, really mega.
So he gave us this work, this great work, to help to guide us through this, really, to give us some clues and, as you say, some illumination. He talks about the 6 days' work.
Yes, that's named after the Bible, 6 days of creation.
Yeah.
And he was a master of these things, so he knew the wisdom in the Bible, so he knew it's a formula for creativity.
Yeah.
And so simply use that formula to pass on, to teach us how to use it in developing our philosophy and eventually reaching knowledge of truth.
Yeah. And
so he also, 6 days are also referred to as six books, and which are 6 stages, or 6 parts, one could say of it. And so the first part is actually surveying the ground, just like you're going to build a building. You go out and survey it first, and you find what's available, and so on, and where you're going to build it, and so on. So in terms of gaining knowledge of truth, you survey what's already known and what isn't known.
Yeah.
You find out where you have to make up the lack of knowledge,
where
and
are
so
the
like
gaps?
that. You know what to focus on. Then the second part is the method itself, the new method, which he says will actually grow and evolve, as time goes on and people improve it, and so on. He didn't see it as static, as a dogma. He saw it as something that could be improved on. And then the third part is what he called the history, which is a collection of all your observations about life itself. He calls it about nature, but he's referring not just to physical nature, he's also referring to all the metaphysical levels to life. And gather in these observations, make notes of it, records, and that's history. History is records.
Records, right.
Then you switch into the final 3 stages or books. You look at what's been gathered, these observations, records, and then you have to create experiments out of that. First of all, you've got to try and put it together to understand it, and then experiment. put into practice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is the fourth stage, and he calls it the ladder of the intellect. But it's also associated with drama.
Mm-hmm.
And at the lowest level, the physical laws, he gives the example of chemistry laboratories or
Yes.
physics laboratories
Yes.
and so on like that, like he describes in the New Atlantis.
Yeah.
But the next level is the moral level,
Mm.
the psychological level, our morality.
Yeah.
And so that's where the Shakespeare plays and other works like that come in,
Mm.
because that's really dealing with psychology,
Yes. Yeah.
looking at psychological laws.
Yeah.
And then for the highest laws of life, which he called the higher forms, which are the spiritual laws,
Yeah.
archangels in the Bible, that then you have sacred drama,
Mm.
such as done in the mystery schools. I mean, Freemasonry drama was originally meant to not just train you in morality,
Yeah.
but actually give you an insight into some of the divine laws, the spiritual laws that are around. And for some it works, others it doesn't.
Yeah.
You know.
That's like, but light doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
penetrate into all the dark places.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So it's that's all trying to take what you observe from life, make something of it,
Mm.
and learn about it. And drama is one of the best ways of doing that.
Mm.
And then you put into practice an experiment,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
get feedback from that,
Mm.
and then you might alter your ideas
Yes.
some more, or
Yeah.
improve on it, and
Yeah,
so on.
yes,
It gets
yes.
better and better.
Yeah.
And then the fifth book or stage is where all the speculations go.
Yes.
It's not yet totally proved to be true.
Yeah.
It might be,
Mm.
but speculations, axioms he calls these.
Yeah. Mm.
And then the sixth part is where you've got the real knowledge,
Right. Yes. This is proven.
the proven truths.
Yeah.
The sixth part, and then there is a seventh book, which relates to the seventh day of creation, which is the day of rest, the day of peace,
Yeah.
seventh day of peace. Well, peace is associated with illumination.
Yeah.
When you're illumined, you are in peace. You're at
Yeah.
peace,
Yeah.
and
So that's what the whole thing is taking you towards.
that's the whole thing is heading
Yeah.
towards that. Yeah.
And he's called this puts me in mind of the fact that he's called the father of the modern scientific method, and you can see why, because
Yeah.
but it's like they've only taken a little bit of what he said, and they're really doing that to death, but it's not being balanced out by all these other things that he saw as being very necessary to creating the right kind of society.
That's right. I mean, he wrote at the time where society was already pretty materialistic,
Yeah.
really.
Mm.
And although the church teachings and in Europe had done a certain amount of teaching in morality,
Yeah.
but it didn't take people much further.
Mm.
And it was being challenged.
Yeah. Mm.
And that, just less than a century after Bacon, it descended into real materialism.
Yes.
And that is what Bacon foresaw
Mm.
happening. And so when the Royal Society was formed, based on Bacon's
Yeah.
ideas, he always said you had to build the pyramid of philosophy from the ground upwards. So you
Yeah.
first look at the physical laws,
Yeah.
then the metaphysical
Mm.
ones.
Mm.
So he actually said that himself,
Yeah.
because he said, like any building, you've got to have firm foundations.
Yes. Yeah. Mm.
But he got stuck
Mm.
at that physical level,
Yeah.
because people started rejecting church teachings and so on,
Yeah.
and just, there
Yeah.
is no God.
Yeah, and there's no invisible world, and there are no
No.
angels, and there are no nature spirits, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It particularly happened in the French so-called Enlightenment, in the French philosophy completely rejected the divine and materialised everything. So when they translated Bacon's works, they revered Bacon,
Yes.
but all their French translations left out every reference he made to the divine and spiritual things.
Yeah. Mm.
And so that injured Bacon's teachings.
Yeah.
But it's the way science went more and more into that realm.
Yeah.
And in one sense, nothing wrong with that.
Mm.
Bacon said that
Yeah.
has to be looked at. But
Mm.
what was wrong was this total rejection of higher laws and this spiritual and divine world there. That's where it's wrong. Well, now we're getting out of that.
Yes.
Getting out of that materialism and science is.
Yes.
And it's breaking into the more metaphysical realms.
Yes.
And realising, it's not everything is as we thought.
Yes.
It's sort of something even greater.
Yeah, there's another big horizon out there.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So as long as our morality holds in the world, we can reach up into the higher realms and create a golden age. That's the hope. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I'm with you on that one, Peter. If there's a prayer to be said, it's that, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.